6 vulnerable questions that will deepen your relationship with anyone. I've recently tested these on some of my relationships, and the results were insane.
I think too much. I wake up tired and terrified.
Digging deep with someone, asking the right questions can really allow you to dig deeper in that relationship, to heal parts of that relationship that you didn't even know needed healing, and just strengthen that bond to a level that you can't even imagine possible. You can do these questions with a friend, family, partner, whoever you want to dig deeper and build that kind of relationship with. If you want to jump to those 6 deep questions, you can look at the bottom, you can fast forward right to it. But before we get to it, like I always do, I just want to share a quick story, my experience, how I got to these questions, where they came from. And I kind of want to share the 3 relationships I had before that failed. And I kind of just want to share my lessons from those relationships and kind of what brought me to meeting Sarah meeting me, and how we started our relationship. And I want to be clear, I have respect and gratitude for every single one of my past relationships. There is 0 negative energy towards them or towards any of that. That is not what I'm about to share. It's more so what I came out of it, what I perceived, and what I grew from. All right, the first one, the high school sweetheart. Now, this was love that I believed was the only love. There was nothing else. The whole world and the whole aspect of love revolved around us. And if anything went wrong, my life was over and I might as well just sign it out. I'll be single forever. Was I ever so wrong? But that relationship ended poorly. We both cheated on each other. I cheated on her. She cheated on me. Who knows who went first? But it was the worst experience ever in terms of how I felt. Being cheated on, can't even imagine that feeling again. You lose so much trust and so much just dignity and just so much, like, you've been so disrespected. But then also cheating on, you also feel just as lonely and so hopeless and so how can you hurt somebody? And the lessons that I took from that relationship was how important it is to communicate how you feel. Because there's no excuse but being in high school and being immature, you're not able to communicate with yourself. And then in return, you're not able to probably communicate how you feel to your partner, to the other person. So you do the actions because the actions are easier. It's easier to go kiss somebody else and go cheat on somebody because it's just an action. You just go do it. You don't have to think. You don't have to use your words. You just do it. And then you wake up in pure regrets. But you just do it. Where words, you have to process, you have to reflect, and you have to think, you have to journal, you have to do all these things. And then go to your girlfriend at the time and then share how you feel and then break up with them or whatever comes after. This is the hardest thing ever. So the lesson from here is that I took out of that relationship is never, ever, ever, ever cheat on somebody. I think there's a saying, right? And we all heard it. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I will stand here today and say that that could be true, but it's 100% not true for me. I would never in my freaking life, I never cheated on anybody after high school. And I would never cheat on Sarah. I would never cheat on anybody. It's not even a freaking thought. Hurting someone like that, it's so disrespectful and so painful. But I just got to take the lesson from this and just learn that communicate. Share how you feel. And that's what I can take away from that relationship is communicate, don't cheat. And now the second one, the first love. Again, very young, very mature, about 20 years old at the time, thinking that beauty is all that matters. And this was one of the lessons is beauty kills. And what I got from this experience was, what I did was I looked on the outward. I was so focused on getting the most beautiful and attractive woman and ignored the inside, ignored the connection, ignored the similarities and just ignored what we may have in common, just ignored all and strictly focused on the outside. At the time, I was very materialistic. So that would make sense, very materialistic, very outward thinking. So all about the outward and the appeal of somebody. How somebody else would see me when I was with her and what they would think about me because I had somebody so attractive. Again, it lasted about a year and a half, and I got my heart absolutely torn apart because I was so focused on that. And I wasn't focused on the inside. I ignored my heart. I fell in love with my mind. I did not fall in love with my heart. So I was fully in love with my brain and my mind because it was the idea of somebody, their outlooks, their appearance. And when I looked inward, well, I looked inward afterwards. So she broke up with me, completely heartbroken, 6 months of turmoil. I fell back into addiction, fell back into drugs, and fell back into alcoholism, and just all these type of things came back up, and I was at my worst. Mental health was at my worst. And it was not because of her, it was because it forced me to look inward. So that relationship allowed me, and the big lessons that taught me is to look inward. Once I started looking inward and heal the inside, everything outside started to look different. And my approach to life, my approach to relationships changed. I started to just dig deeper on what it is to be me. So that was the next relationship. Let's move on to the third. Third one, the last one before I met my soulmate, Sarah. So this one was very interesting. The reason why it was interesting is it's such a powerful, deep lesson. And the lesson I took from it was this. At the time, I was coming with a different mindset. I was coming in with a mindset of, I'm only going to date to marry. So now I was searching. I was only searching. And I was in a mindset of scarcity and fear, probably because of my addiction with social media at the time and seeing all these posts and all these videos and all these pictures of relationships and marriages and kids and everything and families everywhere. You watch TV, you watch movies, you watch anything. You're programmed that you cannot be alone. You need to be in a relationship, all this kind of stuff. So I was 25 and I was like, I need this. Like, I need to find somebody, something, anything, anybody. But because I was working from or attracting from a scarcity mindset, a fear mindset, it was whoever gave me attention first, whoever was open to a relationship first. And I found this person and we got into a relationship, and after a year and a half, it ended. The energies we just no longer aligned. It was mutual. But the lesson that I took from it is don't look, don't search. Be comfortable with yourself, fall in love with yourself. And when you love yourself, you attract the right love for you. It just comes. It comes when it's meant to come. There's no age on it. There's no limit on it. It happens when it's meant to happen. So after that relationship, I was 26-ish, and then I just allowed it to be. I allowed myself to heal, allowed myself to just love myself, and I just did me. I just went traveling, I explored, and did all that stuff that we just should be doing. And that's when it just naturally came, and Sarah and I met, and we dated for 5+ years, and now we got married a couple months ago, and it just went poof. So the deep lesson with that one is to just let be, to love yourself first. You love yourself first, you can then love deeper, and then you can receive love deeper. So such a powerful lesson. So as you can see, grateful for each and single one of those relationships. And I guess the overall lesson here is to allow yourself to go through these difficult moments, these difficult times with your partner, and to know that it is not the end, and to know that there are more people out there, and it can only get better. And you've developed a filter system, and you get more and more healed, and your filter system attracts the person that's meant for you. So I guess, yeah, don't hold on to that thing that you believe that is the only one and there's nobody else. Don't hold on to that. But at the same time, have respect for the other person. Have respect for whoever's involved. And most importantly, have respect for yourself. So, you guys ready to jump into the 6 deep questions that I'm so stoked to share with you?
Talking in your sleep. Guess we're on a losing streak. But we're in good company.
Okay, the first question. If this was our last convo, what would you never want me to forget? This allows your partner to open up and share what's most important to them, how they see themselves. This now allows you to cherish that for them, with them. It also allows you to realize that sharing gratitude with your partner every morning is a blessing, because one day, unfortunately, there'll be a last convo.
You are almost everything.
And at number 2, what in our relationship are you most grateful for? This one opens up the heart. It allows the gratitude to flow. This is positive on all angles for both parties. For one side to feel appreciated and seen, and the other to share their love. Number 3, What have you learned about me in the last few months that you never knew before? This allows both partners to reflect. Maybe we miss those small things that we appreciate of our partner, but forget to talk about it. This is the opportunity. Number 4, what's something you need more of in your life right now, emotionally or mentally? This is very deep and powerful. This allows you the space and gives you safe space because of the previous questions and energy shared. This is where you want to be as honest as possible. A lot of relationships fail because of lack of communication or poor communication skills. This is where you share what you need, and this will help transform your relationship to the next level. It's okay to need something mentally or emotionally. Number 5, what is something you wish more people understood about you? A lot of friendships, relationships struggle because people feel misunderstood. This is also key in families. But this question allows both parties to share how they feel misunderstood. And sometimes it's a perception shift that is required here. An open mind is key for this one. And number 6, what do I do that makes you feel understood? This is a nice one to finish on. This allows both parties to share their gratitude on how you make the other person feel understood. This is where you focus on the positive. So now the other person knows that they're doing is working and allows them to continue. It's also good to hear that you're doing something good. It's not 1983, share your love if you feel it. We're all human. We want it and we need to hear it. Have you asked these questions to anybody before? What questions are you thinking of asking your partner or your friend or your family member? Anyways, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you on what questions you like, what questions you're thinking of trying out. And yeah, who are you planning on doing this with? Anyways, with love, as always, Chris.